Hey guys, what's up? It's Jules. Time for another FlossTube interlude, and all of a sudden all the dogs realize I'm talking, so they're going to come over and say hi. It is January 7th, a little later on this video than I wanted to be as far as recording it. I think we all know why, if you follow my videos, because my buyers lost last night. I really didn't feel like shooting a video last night, thank you very much. Yeah, they lost, and just FYI, just so we were all clear on this, it was a blocked field goal. It's come out today that it was categorized as a blocked field goal. Somebody got the edge of his pinky on it, and that's why it hit the post. Doesn't really matter though. I was still pretty upset about the whole thing, but it's okay. We move on. There's always next season. It's all good. So, but anyway, I appreciate all you guys who commented on that. I did see those. I appreciate that very much. Oh yeah, and for those of you who have gone and run over to the our pets channel, we just started uploading videos on there. I say we, it's really me. My husband helps me out because we shoot videos and stuff when we go to the dog park, so it's what we did yesterday. So we have a cute little video on there about our little Puggle Topher's first trip over to the dog park, and we had a lot of fun doing that. So I'm going to put that up here if you guys want to go check that out. But for those of you who like hearing about our pets, that's now where we're going to have our videos. What's going on? There's destruction going on behind me because the dogs are digging after something. But anyway, so let's start off here. Everything Zofia, which I really like that name, wants me to make sure that the FlossTube Stitch With Me videos do not become shorter because she likes stitching along with them. I do like making them closer to like an hour just because I feel like it really, for one, I get more stitching done that way, and I feel like if it's a half an hour stitch with me, it's really not, I mean, if I'm stitching with somebody, half an hour is nothing. So an hour is about as long as I can do shooting a video just because of where I shoot my videos. That's just how it works for me. So it helps my back to make them an hour. Let's just say that. But you guys are awesome. Oh, Malene, you're saying Garrett Morse's voice from Saturday Night Live, baseball, has been very, very good to me. That's not actually where that, when I say baseball, that's actually, I'm not doing a very good voice, but that's James Earl Jones from Field of Dreams. That's why I always say baseball when I talk about the baseball project. But anyway, oh man, I love everybody who has ordered Ronnie Rowe. Everybody has been doing awesome with ordering it. So excited for you guys because it's so much fun. Did you know Ronnie Rowe follows my blog now? He keeps commenting. It's awesome. Love it. Okay, so I gotta make a note. I gotta make notes here. Oops. Gotta make my notes. So, because you guys are asking me or telling me things I need to look at. Hey, Tammy Neal, say hi to your husband for me. Apparently he likes to watch the videos too, so that's very cool. The more guys, the better. It's all one happy family. Moonship, Etsy, Country Town Girl. Actually, I like Country Town Girl's shop on Etsy, but I'm definitely going to have to look at that. Thanks, Jackie, for pointing that out for me. Anita asks if Wonders of the World a blended floss piece, and Layla answered that it wasn't blended, and she's correct. Wonders of the World is not blended, thank goodness. It's just a half stitch piece now. Thank goodness. So I got a nice explanation from Layla about tapestry needles versus sewing needles, because I asked that question in the last interlude video, because I've always been using just regular needles. I always wanted to have the sharp ends on them, just so that I can, I'd love to be perfect about the holes, but I do so many full coverage cross stitches that I inevitably at some point am going to end up putting a needle through floss or around floss or something. And so I guess I just like the sewing needles better. Tapestry needles would work great in a lot of, probably would work great for Ronnie Rowe, I would imagine. But I am going to go take a look at those. Thank you for pointing that out for me. I'll have to go look at what they look like and see. Maybe I have some and I just don't realize it, because I never really even looked at it. All right. I'm going to try and jump through a little bit faster on this because we got the national championship game going on in like half an hour, so I got to get done. People like the birds. Some people don't like the birds. Other people like the birds. I love the birds, but they are distracting when I'm trying to do a Stitch With Me video, so I'm trying to figure out how I can maybe do that in a different place so I don't hear very much. Hey, Ashley Newman, thank you for coming on board and commenting. And again, I appreciate Layla for answering those questions. You did a great job, probably better explanation than I could have done. And there's a lot of comments about half stitches versus regular stitches and what that does for your project. So that was an excellent answer, Layla, and thank you so much for doing that. I mean, half stitches for Wonders of the World, I'm so excited. I should stitch more on that tonight. Well, a lot of people like to do half stitches on, or tent stitches on their heids. That's awesome. Everybody likes the birds. Most people like the birds. I understand. I understand both ways, guys. I do. All right. Around the World in 80 Days. Linda, crazy for yarn. Around the World in 80 Days. I'm going to write that down. I loved that book when I was a kid. It was one of those books that I loved to read. I didn't realize there was a cross stitch. Or maybe you showed this to me a long time ago and I've since forgotten. That's quite likely. Hey, Gypsy. Hey, first of all, hi, Gypsy. I hope you see this video. It looks like you're new to my channel. I love your avatar. It's a Georgia Bulldog avatar. I appreciate that very much. I'm going to have to come back and comment specifically for Gypsy because I don't know if you found my interlude videos yet. You're commenting on a lot of my older videos, so that's awesome. You guys are so cute. Some people are liking the Tower of Babel that I started. I'm liking it too. I think it's going to be a gorgeous piece and look a lot different than a lot of things that I'm doing. I had somebody ask me about doing chatelaine projects. I have not really... There are a lot of people that really do chatelaines and they're gorgeous. And that was kind of when I first started watching YouTube. A lot of the FlossTubers I was watching were doing chatelaines, but they never really appealed to me as a project. Again, they're beautiful, but looking at them, I was just like, that's not something that I would want to stitch on. Just personal preference. The Groot Chia Pet. You guys like that. I still haven't gotten it started, but thanks for the reminder. I totally need to do it. Mama Metzger, I gotta tell you where I get my Aida. I have a link to where I get my Aida down below. It's I get it from a stitching shop, which is a local store here in Denver, but you can order and they will ship it to you. You guys are funny. I really am sorry about that mess up last week, or 2 weeks ago on the interlude. My husband and I still laugh about that. Anyway, you guys are awesome. So then people are asking about the mechanical pencils and the fabric pencils. Nice. Yeah. I'm really drawn to using the fabric pencil, which I don't think I have right here, to using the graphing pencil, or mechanical pencils, whatever you want to call them. It's such a nicer gritting tool than the markers or the pens that I've been using. So I think I'm just going to convert to that because it's so much more precise and it doesn't tend to bleed if I let it sit there for a second. So definitely think I'm going to do that. Nice. Karen Kuffler found Westminster Abbey, my old Westminster Abbey. Yeah, it's a cheap download. It's only a $7 download from KDA Cross Stitch, which is a really it's a smaller cross-stitch site. Do not ask me how I found that project way back when. I'm pretty confident that I probably said, listen, I want to stitch Westminster Abbey, and I just somehow found it in a shopping list or something, like on a Google list or something. But if for those of you who've seen my stitchy wall, the Westminster Abbey is up there, and it's really nice. I love it. It's gorgeous. Oh, nice. Oh, Karen, that's a really good idea. So, Why can't you, okay, so you know how we've been talking about the Ronnie Rose and how I love the pen and ink designs, and they're all monochromatic, so you're just using 310 black on white Ada, basically. But she was saying, why couldn't you just use black on Ada for one of his colored projects and see how it comes out? It's a really good idea. I wonder, I'm not sure if it will look okay because there's a lot of flowers and stuff. I guess it depends on which project that you choose, but that's a really, really good idea. We'll have to take a look at that. All right. Kate, you think Sailor's trying to say his name? Trying to say Sailor? Sailor saying it's possible. He is definitely he's very talkative. He's the one who makes most of the noise up there for sure. I'm like, I commented on one of my own videos. Why did I do that? Nice. So for those of you who want to see what a good half stitch looks like in a project that's almost done, NM Stitching Demon has a good channel. I would suggest you guys go check her out. So it's NM Stitching Demon, DEMON. That's awesome. I'm gonna have to go look at that. I bet you it looks great. I actually have a project that maybe I'll post it on the blog at some point. It's a project that I did for my mom. It was one of my first projects, I think, that I did. It was before I finished Westminster Abbey, and it was all half stitches on linen, and it was literally just sort of like a picture of Jesus. And my mom is very religious and loves that. It hangs up in her office basically, and I enjoyed doing it. It didn't, because it was half stitches, it didn't take as long as I thought it would, but it was pretty awesome. Nice. Standy B Stitcher saying that get some cross stitch needles. Bowen is a good brand. I use size 24 for 14 count. Thank you. Okay, I'm gonna go take a look at that. Bowen. I just love how you guys teach me so much. I love it. I've learned so much since I've started doing, let me write down the size though. Size 24. Okay. I've learned so much since I've started doing these videos because you guys teach me far more than I help you. I feel like you do. People are starting to ask me if I should do Old World Map in half stitches. I don't want to do that. It's, first of all, I'm 12 pages in. It has a tapestry feel to it, and I think that because it is, I don't know. I can't. I just can't. I have to do it in full stitches. And so, sorry guys. All right. Browns fan. Hey, Wendy Stitching is a Browns fan. Hey, that's what I'm wearing right now. I got my Cleveland Browns jersey on, my Baker Mayfield jersey on. This is one of my Christmas presents for my husband, and I love this thing so much. I wear it like when I get home from work. Like, this is the one jersey. Remember how I had that whatever it was, New Year's resolution, I was going to wear more jerseys, and I've been wearing a jersey almost every day since. I can't wear it to work, but everywhere else. No, I don't wear them out. I should say that. I don't wear them out of the house, but I'll wear them in the house. Karen, if you're asking what count fabric I'm using on Wonders of the World, it's 28 or 25. No, it's got to be 25 because I went with the slightly larger ones. So it's 25 count. Jobelin, I believe. Nice. Nice. I'm just reading. Super Peace Rose. Super Peace Rose said I got in touch with you, right? I got in touch with you. Because this is from like over a week ago, so I'm pretty sure that we've talked since then. How do I handle, Valerie wants to know, how do I handle working on so many projects at once? And how much time do I spend with each project? How much time a day do I spend with each project? I am very much a scatterbrained kind of person. I'm a shiny object. I'm always jumping around. I can't do just one thing. It is a detriment to me a lot of times that I can't sit and just focus on something. Although sometimes I can. If I'm really loving something, I can focus on it for a while. But I just like popping around. So how do I manage it? I just literally, I'll just be like, what do I want to stitch on today? You know, what do I want to do? And I'll pick something up and I'll work on it. Just like we thought, talking about doing this or doing that. Just whatever just kind of pops into my head. And I don't pressure myself. I mean, I have in the past pressured myself to basically try to get everything stitched in a week. But I think in 2019, my goal is just going to be to stitch a bit more on whatever I do stitch on that week, so that I make more progress. I feel like I'm making more progress, and ultimately that's kind of what it's about. It's not about how many different things I can stitch on, it's just how many things can I get done. And does that make sense? Does that make sense? How much time a day do I spend with each project? Usually when I'm stitching on something, I won't stitch on it for longer than a couple of hours at a time. Even like when I have the whole day, it's unusual for me to spend 2-hour session stitching on something. And this goes into the first question too, because I'll work on something for a while and I'll be like, okay, I'm done, let's move on. And it's just a feeling I get. You know, maybe I'm done with a certain section, maybe I've finished this little area, or done with a color that I've used a lot of, or maybe I just reach a point where this piece is for whatever reason starting to fight me a little bit, meaning that maybe I can't find the colors that I need, or maybe I keep having to frog something, or I make a mistake. And when I reach that point of a little bit of frustration, then I move. I just move to something else. You guys are all congratulating me on the loop method. Penny Fisher wants to know if there are stretcher bars long enough for such a piece. I'm sure somebody out there has something. You probably, I mean, why couldn't you kind of modify a quilt, like one of those quilt holders? I'm sure you could. Somebody could do it, but nobody would buy it because there's only a few of us crazies that will do it. You guys know what I'm talking about. There's a couple of you guys doing this project too. Nice. Amy 13B. Quoting Baker Mayfield for me. Thank you. All right. Vanessa is another UKer. Can I say that? UKer? Another Brit. Fish and chips. Yeah, we went to the GB's last week, or a week ago. Oh, I love my fish and chips. I love good fish and chips, though. It was really good. It was really good. Huh. PE Stitcher. A waist thread. It's a way to end and secure your threads underneath that will reduce the bulk on the back of a large project. Learn about it on a Haid Facebook page. Do you guys know what she's talking about? Again, I love learning from you guys. How do I have time to like get everything done? I don't do research. I try not to. I just don't have the time to watch the different things. I just do what I can when I can. Nice. Lori Reader is thumbs up on YouTube Premium. Yeah, so YouTube Premium basically is a subscription service to YouTube. And what it does is that it eliminates, you're able to download videos onto your phone or your computer or whatever you'd like to do. And you're also able to watch everything without ads. And I love it because I download a lot of stuff so that I can listen to it like later at work or when I'm in bed, or if there's just a video that I'm like, you know, just I want to learn more about something and I want to listen to it, because I just listen to YouTube all the time. So yeah, YouTube Premium, I love it. There, Lori is also talking about the tapestry needles. Where am I? There I am. Oh gosh. Okay. So Diana, which I love the way your name is spelled. So you're asking, how do I keep the back of a full coverage project neat? Not super neat, at least not terribly bulky when doing a confetti heavy page. Don't swallow Vicks and don't put super glue on your thumb. Those are very, very good things. They should be like, when you send your kid off to college, like, this is what you do. You don't swallow Vicks. You don't super glue your thumb. Anyway, all right, how do I do it? So, well, this isn't really a confetti piece. I would probably say like the Stormtrooper cross stitch, or honestly, even Old World Map 2 is a confetti. Honestly, I I just try to trim the ends as short as I can. And if I can stretch my fabric a little, if I can stretch my floss a little bit and bring it down to, you know, I honestly, it doesn't look great at times. It really doesn't. I'll have to show you Old World Map 2 sometime. Maybe the next stitch along I'll turn it over and show you guys what it looks like on the other side. It doesn't always look great. And I'm interested to see what this page of Stormtrooper is going to look like when I'm done. But yeah, that's kind of how it works, because I don't park my stitches at all. And you guys asked me about that. And the reason why is because I'm so messy and disorganized. I have 7 dogs and a cat, and you know, there's just, somebody's going to mess it up. Somebody's going to grab something and rip something, and maybe I'll be the one to do it. But it's just all about just trying to keep, like, literally, like when I'm done with a piece, I try and fold it up, and I don't try, I smash it together and I put it in a bag. That's basically what I do. And a lot of them end up in the same bag, to be perfectly honest with you. And that's one way that I also work my fabric. Kind of like, this is my Ronnie Rowe that I started working on. I got a little sneak peek, got even more done than I did the other day, but it's still pretty, you know, but I'll take it and I'll smoosh it up and I'll put it in one of my cross stitch bags and my project bags, and I know it's going to come out okay in the end, and I know by smooshing it it'll soften it. So but in terms of you know, what this is going to look like, I really have to watch and see what happens with Stormtrooper, the page that I'm working on. But I'll show you guys next time what mine look like. It's a good question. I just don't know if I'm necessarily really that neat about things. Shayna is asking if I ever use apps or programs to create my own patterns. Remember how I talked about that last month? Was it last month? Just last month? Yeah, I started working on it. I'm coming back to it eventually. I just haven't really gotten very far with it. But I really would. I would love to design something in the line of a Ronnie Rowe. Maybe a miniatures set of some kind. But I really would. I think that those are beautiful, classy patterns that I just really love. Cather, you wrote me awesome. Okay. I'm gonna have to come back and read this. I don't want to read it right now, but it's a really good explanation for why I seem to have problems sometimes with my thread twisting. That's awesome. I'm gonna come back. I'm gonna come back and read this in more detail and comment on it. I just don't want to take the time to do it right now because I don't want to make everybody else wait. I could just pause the video. Hold on. Oh, okay. I stopped and I read it. This is really cool. So, what she said was, in terms of getting the floss to not twist, or to not twist up and get snagged, like I'm always doing that. It doesn't seem to happen when I do the loop stitch. And she suggested, and she explained that the reason why was because of the fact that the ends are separated. Now, when you pull, okay, when you're doing regular cross stitch, right, and you have 2 pieces, is that 3 or 2? It might be 3. Anyway, let's pretend it's 2. And you have it like this, everything is kind of going in the same direction. It's winding in the same exact direction, and so that's why it sometimes can get twisted up. And what she's saying is, if you're not doing the loop stitch and you're just doing a 2-ply floss, basically, go ahead and separate it, and then pull it off, and then just reverse one of them, so that the top is now the bottom is now the top. So they'll be sort of an opposite twist to each other, and then they won't have that urge to kind of continue twisting and causing issues. That is awesome. That is a fantastic tip. I appreciate that. I'm going to keep pausing. Okay, so Angela asked, because I totally goofed on my end of year video, my FlossTube end of year video, where I was talking about what I was going to do in the coming year. I am going to do the bee portrait. I just totally forgot it in the whole thing. So I am going to get the fabric. I hope I get the fabric this month, and I do want to start that. I can't help myself. I answered the question about the chatelaine. Hold on. Hey, Tammy in Colorado. How you doing? Oh, nice. BandFam is a new joiner. I hope she watches this video. She hasn't cross-stitched in years. She does other crafts. That's awesome. That's awesome. That's very cool. It's funny how we kind of pop onto other people's videos all the time. There's people that have not seen a full-size Ronnie Rowe finished. I'll have to bring the stitchy wall into one of my videos again so you guys can see that. Oh, nice. Catherine also said Reaper is sitting next to It Is Well With My Soul, and it doesn't seem so scary sitting next to It Is Well With My Soul. That's pretty funny. I like it. Hey, oh, to be purple. I'm sorry, I got your name messed up. I do kind of, well, there's multiple people with the same name, so it confuses me sometimes. But I'm so glad you got in a new Ronnie Rowe. That is awesome. Great floss organization. How do I keep my cat out of it? Hey, Sharon. You know, the cat doesn't care about anything that I do with cross stitch. Cat doesn't care about anything other than the cat. He cares about his food. Food, number one. Number two, he cares about cuddling with my husband at night, and sometimes he'll cuddle with me if my husband's not available. And three, he cares about keeping Coco away from his food when Coco comes up to see him. And that's probably going to be one of our next videos on the zoo channel, is that particular relationship. But you know, the floss is a bigger issue with the dogs when I leave it on the table back here, because somebody's always, I don't know why, but somebody's always going up on the table and they're knocking things off. And so nice. Mandy, I hope you see this. I'm going to put a link into it, but I have now started putting in almost all of the projects that I'm stitching on. I'm putting links in the description below in the videos, so you should be able to link. And if the link doesn't work, just let me know and I'll fix it, because there was one link that wasn't working, but I got to work now, so we're all good there. Awesome. So Hoosier Apple is actually starting her very first full coverage project for this year, or period. It's a Scarlet Quince. Good luck. You picked a beautiful one to start. I don't even know what it is, but I'm sure if it's from Scarlet Quince, it's beautiful. Zahra. Z-J-A-H-R-A. All right, help me, guys. Zahra? How about we say that? There's a Pinterest site with cool embroidery. So it's my PhD project that we talked about, the bee project that I'm going to some point start. That is going to be the PhD project when I learn all those new stitches. And you guys will be going along with me. And hopefully you'll tell me how to do it. Happy New Year to all you guys. Happy New Year to everybody. Okay, Jackie wants to know, how am I going to stitch in bed? So I got it's like a little, I'll link to you below like what I got, but because it's easier than describing it. But what I got was basically, I got a new floor stand light, but one that's super bright and is a little shorter than the one I have out here that I use, and it's perfect for like where the bed sits. I got a bed chair, I guess, a bed sofa chair, recliner thing, whatever. It's just like a little cushy thing that you lean back against, and it's got little things for your arms. I'm just ridiculous me trying to be technical describing this. And then I ended up getting like a tray, and it's just like a tray that fits right over your, it's a little heavier, and it's like a desk tray, something like that. Anyway, I'll link it below. It's so much easier for you to look at than it is for me to describe it. I actually haven't used it yet, believe it or not. I thought for sure I would, and then we set up a chair up in the bedroom, and I've been sitting in that and stitching, but I'm absolutely going to be doing it soon. For sure I'm going to be doing it soon. But I've set it up and I've sat in it, and it's really super comfortable. It supports my back, and it comes all the way up in the back, so I can actually rest my head on the back, so that helps me too. Hold on. Rita Marie keeping me honest here. Apparently on E Pluribus Unum, I'm missing part of the border that goes beneath the trees. Thank you. I'm going to go back and check that out and make sure. Lorraine's going to do the U.S. Capitol, and we're going to be doing the U.S. Capitol at the same time. 18 count Ada, that's exactly what I had. Hold on. Hey Sherry Love Stitching, I'm glad you found my channel, and I'm glad you stuck with it and keep watching the videos. I appreciate that very much. I'm glad that you watch all of them and enjoy it. That's exactly why I'm doing the videos. These are entertainment, inspiration, and hopefully we all have some fun and learn stuff together. So that's really, really awesome. Appreciate that. Appreciate the kind words. So you guys like the how to soften your Ada video. I can put that somewhere up here, but I put a whole, like, before you start a project, here's how you soften your Ada. Well, you can soften your Ada at any time. Just understand that if you have gridding, you will most likely, like with a pen or something like that, you will wash out your gridding, you'll have to redo it. If you have pre-gridded fabric, you'll have to actually grid your fabric once you've done it. But there's no reason why you can't, like, once you've started stitching, if you don't mind having to regrid, just go ahead and go ahead and soak the Ada, get it a little softer. But I always find that one of the things, and I talked about it the other day on the Stitch With Me, but I really love starting a Ronnie Rowe and working it to the point where it softens on its own. I like that natural progression that I get. It always makes me feel like I've graduated into the piece, and I'm like really going really, really well. So Moonbow Eve put a comment on here. In Icelandic needlepoint, the fabric is scrunched up to make it supple for stitching in hand over the forefinger. Washing Ada removes some of the starch to soften it. Nice. Nice. I like that whole thing about Icelandic needlepoint. That's pretty cool. Sheila from Iowa, thank you. Thank you for watching. For what, a year now? Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Yeah. So Fiddlebows is commenting on the problem I'm having with Old World Map 2, which, for those of you who have watched me stitch that for a while, understand what I'm talking about. It's my really bad habit of skipping stitches when I'm doing that project, because I'm like, oh, I can get so much stitch if I just jump down and do these, but I'll come back to these 10 stitches later. And the 10 stitches turns into 20, which turns into 50, which turns into, yeah, so I'm still working on it. We're going to talk about that in the weekly update, kind of what I'm doing with that project, but I do need to be more disciplined for that. Absolutely. Sharon Abbott asked me, have I ever dyed my own fabric? I've never done it. I've watched a lot of people do it. Different people I've watched. I know I saw, well, it's been a while. I don't want to say specific names, but I actually watched a lot of people, like probably 2 years ago when I was thinking about FlossTube, watched a lot of people dye their fabric, and I thought it looked really cool, but it wasn't something that I wanted to do because I was doing full coverage projects almost completely, that I never did that. Oh, so Snow Angel asked me, since I have so many whips, have I ever considered using an iPad or tablet to kind of keep track of everything? Not really. I really like the way it's a little old-fashioned. It's not terribly old-fashioned, but it's a little old-fashioned, and it's just the way that I do it. And I guess I would be worried that if I input everything onto a device or something, if something happened to it and it broke, I know, because I'd probably drop it 5 times. But no, I haven't done that. I really would like to see, like, how other people do that. I need to actually watch some videos, obviously, at some point. But Happy Ray wants to know, do I find some floss easier to work with than others? DMC white always gives you fits. The stitches never look right. Yeah, I've noticed that sometimes. And I don't know if it's just like a funky batch or if they were somehow packaged weird. But I will occasionally come across fabric or floss that doesn't seem right to me. And sometimes all I'll do is I'll just pull it out and cut out the part that doesn't seem right. Or sometimes I'll just simply find another skein and do that. So, but it's not a particular color that I found. It's just more along the line. Oh, I shouldn't say that. Sometimes I've come across some 310 that might just be old. Because I use a lot of 310 in Ronnie Rowe, obviously. So I'll come across that, and it'll just not feel right, and sometimes it won't look right, so I'll just toss that and just do something else. It's you know, spending another 60 cents or whatever is way better than getting irritated at the floss every time I use it. What do I do with my charts once I'm done with them? How do I store them? Do I reuse them, gift them, sell them? So this is actually something that comes up that actually I don't think anybody has asked me, like, what do I do with my charts once I'm done? For the most part, when I'm doing a full stitch, full coverage cross stitch, I'll actually, when I'm finished highlighting a page, I just throw it away. Most of the time. Sometimes I'll keep it. I might need it for reference for something else, but usually I toss it just because it's less for me to have around. For some projects that it's just like a, like one of the Lizzie Kates or the Queen Bee project or things like that, I actually still have some of those. I don't regift them, and I'm kind of particular about that because personally for myself, I feel like I don't know if people who design, like I don't know if Ronnie Rowe makes a lot of money from selling cross-stitch patterns, but it is his livelihood and it's what he does. And I don't like the idea that somebody, if you want something that bad, I encourage you to buy it and give that money to the actual developer, designer, creator, because it's, it's not like it's, I just don't know how many like patterns they sell to actually make money. Does that make sense, guys? I would rather give them the money, and that's why I try to promote the people that I like and do, because I want people to go and buy their stuff, and if they're successful, like it's kind of hoping if Ronnie is successful enough, and a lot of people buy these patterns, he'll see that there's a demand there, and maybe he'll do more. That's all we can do, and other than write him and say, please do more. And he says, I'm working on other things. And but we'll see what his new stuff is that comes out here. Nice. Oh yeah. So Karen is showing me Diana 70 on Etsy. She does a lot of Star Wars stuff, and I have looked at her stuff, and that I think is where I got the Stormtrooper from. But she said there's a lot of monochromatic stuff, and so yeah, I think that's cool. But I like her stuff on Etsy. She's a great designer for Star Wars stuff. Oh yeah, so Angela also asked me. The only one, I don't have the dachshund down in the description as far as where to find it. It's because you can't find it. It's not on Gecko Rouge. I haven't emailed them to ask them if they're going to bring it back or not, but they have a lot of other dachshund designs on that site, and they have a lot of great designs. I really like Gecko Rouge. It's so colorful and really, really nice. I wish that they would do more of their patterns as PDF files or just as regular patterns and not kits, because most of their stuff is kits. But I understand why they do that. They do have the ability to get DMC direct from the factory, and I have to admit the colors are very vibrant when I get them. But anyway, so that's why the dachshund's not on there. Do I have trouble, Angela also asking if, do I have trouble putting my hoops on the fabric? No, it's harder when they're brand new and they are stiff, and if I haven't washed it, it's a little harder to get in. But once they're worn in, they're super easy to do. But and I know some of you guys worry about leaving hoops in projects and stuff, but I mean seriously, I mean, like, hold on, Reaper's right here, and Reaper's been in this hoop for forever. But these patterns take so long to do. I mean, I'm going to be on this section for, who knows, another month or whatever, maybe less, I hope. Then I'll move it to another section, and by the time I'm done with that section, the hoop lines will already be gone from the prior section. So, but I sometimes, though, I have to, it depends on the hoops that I have. So sometimes I might have to hold, like, can you guys, let me put the pen down. So sometimes when you have something like this, I have to hold this to tighten it down, because if I do this, sometimes it doesn't really tighten it very well. So I'll hold that, and then it seems like once it grips a little closer, it does a better job, but you still may have to hold it, or put your finger in there and hold it. But that's how I do it. Nice. Isabel's Moments with Crafts is saying it's 3 months into her first Haid, and the Ada has finally softened up. Doing a page a month. That's awesome. That's awesome. Priyanka was commenting that every time I get something new, she wants to get something new. She gets excited and kind of wants to get something new. I'm an enabler, I embrace that. I embrace that very much. Vanessa, I think Ronnie Rowe does international shipping. I think someone had commented on that before. So with you and being in the UK, I'm pretty sure he'll ship to the UK. It's awesome. Yeah, I'm pretty sure, because doesn't... I'm getting everybody mixed up right now, but yes, he absolutely does ship to the UK, because I know that, because somebody's already told me that. All right. Sharon is asking me if the crickets chirp. I have the crickets to feed the gecko, and they don't chirp. They don't chirp. Well, now they don't chirp because they died. I'm not sure why they died. I had food in there and I had water in there, but maybe I needed to put food in more often. I'm not sure. So I gotta get new crickets. Look. I hope you guys are okay with the way I'm sort of mini editing these, just so that they're a little shorter and the questions come a little bit. There's not so many pauses, but I had to stop for this. Kylie Shaw is from New Zealand, and there's not a lot of cross stitchers in New Zealand. There's not a lot of support and whatnot. If I ever make it to New Zealand, we have to stitch together. That is for sure. And I would like to come to New Zealand someday, but that's awesome. So because of the fact that you guys told me about the loop method, and especially the front loop method, and then I showed the front loop method, she says it changed her life. So that is awesome, guys. I owe it all to you guys. It's not me, it's you. All right. You guys are so funny. All right, this is awesome. JV came out and said, hey, why don't you just soften your Ada? Just, you're doing a load of clothes? Throw the Ada in with your load of clothes. Yeah, but that should work, right? That should work. Actually, that might work even better. That's a very low-tech way. Not low-tech. Smart way. I like that. And Kimberly was asking about my blended project with the water tower. It is full of color. I am still doing it. I need to get some progress done on that for sure. Name of the Android software I'm using. That I'm using for what? I don't know what you're talking about. You're commenting on the big 100 FlossTube number 100. You're gonna have to comment back at me, because I don't know. Okay, so Karen actually has found us an app called Goodreader. I think I've heard of Goodreader before. I think I've looked at Goodreader before. You're using it on your iPad. I don't have an iPad. I have like a little Google, one of those little Google Pad things, whatever they are, or Amazon pads. I don't remember. Apparently I'm not good with words. Nice. Nice. I'll have to go look at it, though. That's awesome. Hey, Trisha. Thank you for the comment. That's awesome. So she said that it's, she stitched the saying for her daughter, as her daughter needed to know it was okay to take your time on some things. And she was kind of nudging me a little bit to say, don't, you know, like a lot of you guys did, don't get down on yourself for feeling like you haven't made as much progress as you should. I mean, we all talk about stitch one, it's just one stitch at a time. It's no big deal. And so, but anyway, she stitched, she stitched the words. Just because you're not making progress as fast as you think you should does not mean you are not making progress. Keep going. That's awesome. That's a nice reminder for all of us. And you're in Colorado Springs. Hi. Hi, neighbor. Pretty close. Pretty close. So, Vicky commented on one of the blog posts that I did this past week. There was a gentleman, an older gentleman, who basically needed something to keep his hands occupied because he was quitting smoking. He needed to quit smoking. And so, why do I feel like I keep getting closer? I think I've pulled you guys closer. I'm like, come here. But he needed something to kind of take up his attention and take up his hands, so he took up cross stitching, these little patterns. And he not only found that stitching little patterns was a lot of fun, but he actually created a new way to frame them, where he took like cross sections of tree branches. And that post is on my blog. It was very, I mean, the guy needs an Etsy shop because his creations are really gorgeous, and he really needs to kind of get them out in the world. But maybe somebody else will probably do it now that they put a video out there for it. So Erica, I thought I had responded back, but I don't see it. So for those of you who haven't seen a Ronnie Rowe pattern, what they look like, the symbols are small. Ronnie Rowe doesn't use symbols. I'm going to show you a fraction of the pattern. It's not gonna hurt anybody for you to see a fraction of a pattern. But this is what a Ronnie Rowe pattern looks like. Okay, guys? I can't focus it. But you see how basically instead of having a symbol, it's just filled in. And that's just where your stitch goes. And it's so simplistic and easy. And it's perfect for what Ronnie Rowe is. Florida Good says we need to show our bees on our other channel. We've still got our bee channel. We're going to do a bee channel, do more. We may put an occasional video on there just to talk a little bit about the fact that we do have bees. So awesome. Carolyn has actually started her own FlossTube channel. She has been commenting on my videos for quite a while and watching all my stuff. Her channel is the letter C, Zook, Z-O-O-K, Stitch. C, Zook, Stitch. Checking it out. That's awesome. Hey Sharon, I'm glad your mom is cross-stitching again. That is awesome. She has some physical issues. I'm gonna write you back about this. And so, but I think it's awesome that your mom is stitching again. That is really, really, really cool. Okay, so we have somebody from Finland. We are going to get that world map up. My husband and I were looking at that today, and we're going to put it maybe on this wall or maybe on the wall behind this thing here. Probably on this wall, so we might be able to see it a little bit. Because I got so many guys from around the world. I think it's so awesome to have all you guys there. So I'm going to say your name wrong. Elisa or Elisa? I want to say Elisa. Sounds more like it would be from Finland. How about I just call you E? You're starting a new Haid, meeting on the turret stairs. That sounds beautiful. I gotta look at that. It's so awesome. I know you guys love Haid. And Haid is definitely like the big name that's out there. But personally, I mean, for me, I do so many cross-stitch collectibles that I'm surprised more people don't talk about cross-stitch collectibles. It's where Apothecary Shop comes from, baseball, Rady Waterloo Place came from there, and the quality of their patterns are really, really good. They just do a great job, and a lot of their stuff is downloadable, so you can get started right away, because I have no patience to wait. But I just throw a plug out for them. I have no affiliation with them whatsoever, but I've loved their site for years. And when I came into the world of like cross stitching with all this stuff, I was kind of surprised that everybody talked about Haid, but I never heard cross stitch collectibles mentioned. So it's all good though. It's all good. Okay, Jessica Lee. Hi, Jessica Lee's husband, who also, he doesn't really watch, but he likes, I don't know, he's funny. He's funny apparently. Awesome. You want me to link, and good luck on the full coverage piece. That's awesome. Can I link the project bags? So I'm going to put some notes down below for them. I get a couple different kinds, and the one that I really like, that's the ones that I have colors in them, I get from a stitching shop, and I'll have to look to see what the name is. I'm not sure if I've seen them on Amazon, but I'll have to look to see if I can find them. And if not, then I'll just put the name down below. I better make sure I write this down, right? I better make sure I write this down. But I really like the ones that are colored. Just, I don't know. It's just, they're just pleasant to look at, I suppose. They're just color. I like the purple ones and the orange ones. All right. Wrote. Can I do a close-up of when I start a thread? So you want me to do like a close-up of the, this is Kimberly asking, close-up of when I start my loop method to show exactly what I'm doing? I could do a super close-up. Super close-up! Nice. Sheila Norwood is turning into quite the Ronnie Rowe stitcher. Finished music teacher, and you ordered Burton Church and the U.S. Capitol. I haven't done Burton. You'll have to let me know. Or is it Bruton or Burton? And you stitch them vertical lines. Sometimes I do that. That can be, I change it up as I go. I'll do a little bit across, and I'll go down. I go all over. But gridding actually helps. It sped up Ronnie Rowe for me so much to grid. And Sheila thinks the birds listen to me. I don't think the birds actually listen to me. I don't want to necessarily, like, give myself any credit for that. So Donna Painter wants to know, how big is the ADA for the 18 count for U.S. Capitol? I don't know off the top of my head, but it's this big. You know, I'll have to measure it. It usually says it somewhere. Like, it usually will tell you on, like, the first page, and I don't have that. I don't think I have that handy. I'll get back to you on this. I'll have to comment and get back to you on this. I'm making a mess. Hey, Nanette, you got to be a new subscriber. Welcome on board. Welcome aboard. She says, I definitely are a go big, go home kind of person. I absolutely. Vanessa has a cat that loves my stitch-alongs. And she watches my stitch-alongs. That's so funny. That's so funny. I love it. Ooh, I'm almost done, guys. People are asking about the gridding pencil that I use. It's linked down below. Oh, nice. So Tamara is asking me about the last Ronnie Rowe I stitched. Did the blue marker come out? It did. There's a video on that, but will the graphite pencil smudge on the white Ada? If it smudges, you know, it hasn't smudged yet. Let me just say that. I've been gridding and it hasn't been smudging, so it actually works really well. And how do I move the lines? I'll just wash them eventually. I'm sure, I mean, why couldn't I erase them if I needed to make, you know, I mean, I don't think why, but I think that's good. And then our last, Janet, you got to tell me which Ronnie Rowe that you end up finding. You have it someplace. Allison, you just started your first hate, Animal Kingdom. That is ambitious. Nice. You've managed 10 of 374,500 stitches so far. We all start somewhere. We all are on stitch 10 of any project that we do. So that is awesome. I love it. All right, guys. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. I tried to make this a little bit shorter by kind of stopping and starting. I'll have to watch it back a little bit and see if it's okay. But I figured it might be a little bit more efficient use of time to do that. And but I'm gonna go ahead and start getting this. I'll edit it and upload it. So check out the blog. I'm trying to do something different with the blog now. Let me know if you guys like it or not. But I'm doing more general pieces for the blog. Like I just wrote one on why cross stitch is excellent form of relaxation. I've done some news things where I've talked about some news articles about cross stitch. I just did one on cross stitching carpal tunnel because I've had carpal tunnel. You see my scars right there on both hands, and so I wrote a piece, but just more about the questions you guys ask me. It seems like there's not a lot of answers out there, like if you googled it, and so anyway, I just want to throw some content out there, and it'll attract more people to cross-stitching, and hopefully more people will join our community, and we'll have even more fun. So I got that going. Got a weekly update coming in a couple of days. I got a stitch. I got the championship game to watch here, and I got a stitch. I'm not rooting for any particular team. I just want a really good game, I hope. And but you guys take care. Keep stitching. Ask me your questions. I'm going to go back in here and finish the questions that I said I would finish. And but you guys take care, and I'll see you really soon.